This year, the Dean's address will be live streamed here in the Marina Bay Sands Orchid Ballroom, where EEE Tea Party is being held, over to the other MBS ballrooms where the tea party is for the School of Chemistry, Chemical Engineering and Biotech, the School of Civil and Environmental Engineering, the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, the School of Material Science and Engineering, and lastly, the Renaissance Engineering program are being held. The Dean's address is also live streamed to students and parents who are abroad and locally, but they are unable to attend physically. A quick hello to everyone joining in online. On that note, let us invite Professor Warren Chan, Dean for the NTU College of Engineering, for his welcome address. Professor Chan, please.
Thank you for the introduction. Again, my name is Warren Chan. I'm the Dean of College of Engineering. I'd like to welcome everybody in the Orchard Ballroom as well as the other adjoining ballroom to today's event, as well as all the people that are outside of Singapore that are essentially watching this on online stream. So I'd like to start off by saying that this is actually a very important decision to make. I think everybody here is essentially trying to figure out what is the best university for you, right? And this decision is very important because it will shape your life probably the next 40, 50 plus years. And I can say that about 2 weeks ago, I was at the University of Illinois, which is where I did my undergrad, and I gave a seminar. And at the end of the seminar, I actually reflected back at how I came here. And the education I received at that university is really critical for me as I moved up in my academic career, right? So I understand the importance of selecting the best place for you for the next 4+ years. And I also like to share that my wife and I actually are at this process also thinking about university for my son. He just finished first year of high school, but it's actually never too early to start thinking about this. And the first thing that we actually started thinking about is actually which country where we want our son to go. I moved here from Canada last year. I grew up in the US, and we started thinking about, do we want our son to be in Canada, in the US, maybe in the UK, right? Get a different experience and come from Europe, Australia, or Singapore. So we started to talk about this for the last couple of months, and then we realized that the country is not as important as the education they receive at the university, right? And so then we start thinking about the university. What are the 3 things or 4 things that we look for, right? And we came up with 3 things. The first thing that we actually want our son to be able to do after they finish university is to be able to get a job, right? It's very important that the education lead to something afterward. And the reason I say that is because when I was at the University of Illinois 2 weeks ago, a lot of students there are having trouble finding jobs afterward, right? And it's maybe the education, maybe the economy, maybe the environment. I don't know what it is, but at the end, I want to make sure my son is able to compete for a job, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing we thought about that's very important is to actually make sure that our son can start a company if they choose to, because the future is evolving, right? You see a lot of these big companies. IBM, what they did in the 70s versus what they do now is different, right? The oil companies are also evolving to what they're doing. You all see all these new AI companies popping up. What if my son wants to start a company? Not work for the big corporations, but to build something based on their imagination they learn from the university life, as well as maybe they go grad school or medical school or law school. They want to build something, right? So that's the second thing. So we want to make sure universities allow them to equip not only the ability to produce a device or system, but to also how to commercialize and move them out by building a company. The third thing that we thought that was very important is for our son to have great experiences in university. When I look back on my university life, I remember the dorms, I remember all the friends I met, and it's really important to have that as part of the equation, right? Because university life is the time when you transition from, being a teenager to an adult, right? It's really important to have good experiences along the way as you're going through university life. So it's not just about study, it's about the social network that you build through time, right? So we look at those 3 things. And then we also then started looking at NTU, because as the dean, I help organize and run the College of Engineering. And so as you're building, you look at your own experience to help shape the education of the college that I am, the university and the college that I'm working at, right? And so the first thing about getting a job, there are essentially two components to be able to really land a job nowadays, right? First is that you have to have great fundamental knowledge of whatever topic you choose, right? Triple E might be how circuits work, how does software code. For chemistry, chemical engineering, it may be understanding chemical processes, how things move in a solution, right? So that's the first thing. You have to know the basics, because the basics is the foundation by which you can build above. The second aspect is that once you understand the foundation, how do you actually have practical experience, right? It's good to be theoretical, but you also need to convert that into something that is really useful, right? So those are the two things. And the third one comes from your ability to communicate. It's the experience part that comes in, because if you're interviewing for a job, you have to convince the person on the other side that you're good and you're going to be competitive and you're going to actually add value to the company, and that's a communication skills. So when I look at this, NTU has all three components, right? A lot of the education framework that we've designed, the curriculum, you teach a lot of the basics the first 1 or 2 years. A lot of students, some students like it, some students don't, right? Because it's just very basic information. But as the years go on in their education, they start to really apply that. And it can be done in two ways. One is that we have a lot of labs that can actually go in and build and tinker things that are much more organized. And there's also thesis opportunities, as well as opportunities to work in faculty labs, professors' labs, right, which gives them a lot of freedom to create. So it's not just an organized structure, it's that disorganized structure, but sometimes when you're in a disorganized structure, it helps you to develop, right? It creates that creativity that comes in. So that's the second aspect. And I'll talk a little bit more about the interview skills and the soft skills that's already required, number 3. So number 2 in that list is essentially how to build a company, right? It's important to be able to convert what you develop into something that's practical, the hard work of building finances, the hard work of pitching. There's all these aspects to be able to successfully build a company. And so what's happening now at NTU is that there's a lot of focus on entrepreneurship activities. NTU Preneur, NTU Initiative, there's all these kind of programs are now building up at NTU, right? And we have 2 members of our college board, advisory board, that has now built successful companies. I'm also adding now new people that have built successful companies outside Singapore into our board to help design our curriculum, right? Or to provide advice in curriculum. So the idea here is to be able to allow you to get the education, not just in a standard classroom perspective, but actually how to build teams to allow you to pitch ideas and how to build companies from ideas you've already generated, right? Just the ecosystem is moving that direction. That's the second one. And the third one is really how do you actually develop those soft skills? And that's usually through experience. So having a fun experience at university solves 2 things, right? One is that you meet a lot of friends. 30 years from now, you'll look back at your university days and you remember some events, that you hang out with certain people, and it's just really a great memory. That's one. But the thing is that these social interactions also allow you to develop those soft skills that allows you to communicate better, that allows you to essentially convince an employer that you're a good fit for the company, right? Because you participate in clubs. There's a lot of student clubs that are at NTU. I live on campus. I can tell you that one of the clubhouses is a drumming club. So every night, weekends, all we hear is drumming and laughing. And they cook together, they share meals, but they're drumming a lot, right? So you see that kind of culture within campus. And because NTU is so big, there's a lot of different space throughout the entire campus. There's interesting clubs and activities that's happening. So I know we're not part of the design and media college, the school, but you go to one of the buildings and all you see is like creative designs from clubs, right? They build statues, they have paintings. It's really interesting. Even though I'm not in that college, you go in and you see the students are working together as a team, right? So a lot of times you're going to have your ability to be able to interact not just with engineers, but also with non-engineers to build those skill sets, right? So it's a wide network of social activities within the university, and there's tons of canteens, right? This is a unique concept to me, come from North America. canteens, everybody's lively, eating lunch, having snacks. It's also a great way to meet a lot of people and just interact with people that are from different areas of education as just people in general, right? So those are a really important part of the equation, right? So at this point, if you look at those three scenarios, NTU, for us, even like for my son, when we think about it, like has all the ingredients in place, and we're going to continue to amp and increase each of those conditions to make sure that the students are competitive for the next stage of their life, right? One of the other things that we're doing a lot right now is that in engineering, we have huge recruiting drive for new professors in the system here. Because we know that areas are evolving, right? Energy, battery, healthcare, AI, these are all areas that are going to be the future economic drivers of whatever country of the world, right? And if you look at those particular areas, who has the best players right now? So we look at professors as players, right? Not just from the research perspective, but they're also the educators. You want the top AI person to come to the College of Engineering, because if that top player trains your son or daughter, it's actually going to make them leave the gate, which is the university, to be in a better competitive position, right? So we've been on a heavy drive this last year, and I think next year we are going to try to recruit 20 to 30 new faculty into engineering. And I can tell you this last year's drive, the new faculty are coming from top universities in the world. They're coming from Cambridge is one, right? So Virgil from Material Science Engineering is coming in from Cambridge. Chun Yi is from Queen's Mary in London, which is also an excellent university in London. We also have Daniel Bennett, who just signed last week, so he's coming from Harvard. So you now see that we're now attracting some of the best faculty in this place. So you're going to see professors that have wide experience that comes in and teach your son and daughter. But the other thing I also want to mention is that we also have a lot of partnerships. I think there's about 340 partnerships with different universities. So your son and daughter may actually have time. You as a student may be able to visit different universities as well, right? So you get not just a local, you will get a global experience in terms of your education, right? So all these things are important recipes for making you competitive after you're done with university, but also have a great social experience along the way. So that being said, it's going to be a really full and exciting day, so please talk to all the NTU reps that are here for this day. And don't be shy. Everybody's very happy to talk to everybody. So thank you very much. Good luck making your decision. And hopefully it's going to be NTU, because I think we all love NTU right now. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Chan, for that wonderful speech. Indeed, NTU's College of Engineering is more than just a nurturing place for budding engineers like you and me. It is also a place where innovation, creativity, and purpose come together. Engineering is vital to the growth and development of societies and economies, and we are deeply committed to promoting greater awareness and understanding of engineering, especially in our young minds and the public. With that being said, I am excited to share that the NTU's College of Engineering, in collaboration with all 5 polytechnics here in Singapore, are proud to present to 16th August 2025 at Marina Bay Sands Halls A and B. This event aims to promote science, technology, engineering, and mathematical education with careers, and most importantly, to inspire the engineer in every student and increase the awareness of engineering. Now, this event is built around 4 meaningful themes: eat, play, love, and grow, that are very dear to our hearts. There will be a wide array of hands-on exhibits, interactive demonstrations, engaging workshops, and insightful talks. Get ready for an exciting and immersive experience ranging from race cars to drones, 3D printing, AR, VR environments, and sustainable food innovations. So simply just scan the QR code on the slide to learn more about the event, and we hope to see all of you at Live It Up. Now back to our audience on Zoom. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please feel free to reach out to your respective schools if you have any queries. For our online audience offered a program here in NTU's EEE, do stay with us on Zoom as the rest of the session will be live streamed. We shall end the live stream here for the respective schools to continue with their programs. Thank you. Now, let us invite Professor Gui Ba Hui, the Assistant Chair of Outreach for NTU's EEE, for his opening remarks. Professor Gui, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to this NTU EEE Tea Party. And then I'm Bahui from School of EEE. And then today I'm going to share with you what we can offer you and what our school is connecting to the real world. Okay, let us take a look at this picture. Can you tell me what is the difference or what are the commonality between these pictures? What is common in all these pictures is actually all these pictures are taken from satellite. And this is a satellite pictures. And imagine what is so important about these satellites. You can see that satellite will provide us with the GPS. Imagine, without satellite for one day, all the planes in the world cannot fly. Your Google Map cannot work. What is going to happen? Whole world will stuck. Store in the, we call it this still world. And then what other thing? Mobile phone. Can anybody tell me you can live without mobile phone for one day? You can't. Some even mention about 1 hour. I'm not too sure about that. Then all these things, gadgets, like you can look at it, robot, drone, IoT, bionic eye, and the Meta, Ray-Ban, the Wayfire, the Google Glass, all this, iPad, computer, iPhone, or mobile phone, and all these gadgets, what is the common thing is that they are all actually a EEE field. When you talk about EEE, anything that has electricity, that has video, that has audio, is all our, we call our play field. So let us take a look at what EEE can offer you. We always emphasize that it's 1 degree with a world of opportunities. You can do many things as a professional engineer. And what about our school? Our school is actually EEE program ranked #1 in Asia, based on the QS World University Ranking by Subject 2025, and ranked 4 in the world. And what does that mean? That means that you want to study electrical electronic programs, this is the best place to do. And we also have 3 corporate labs. This corporate lab, like Delta, is actually one of the biggest IoT company in the world. We brought we call it the company challenges, the real world problem to our university, let the students to experience that. And also we have 60 laboratories, including the clean rooms, satellite research laboratories, and all these, like what our dean has mentioned earlier, we let the student to do, to understand, to know what is happening. And also we have 120 professors with good research background, wide expertise, which can help you to learn all this technical knowledge. Overall, we also have more than 5,000 students. And these students would, you can make friends, you can have a wide student activities. So let's take a look of our area of specialization. I will not go into the detail in the curriculums. You can look at the internet. And here we have 8 specialization. If you look at blue color, the first one, power and clean energy. We will teach a student how to generate energy, or you can call it power, how to transmit them, and how to store them. Store them is like our electric vehicle, our power bank. And also moving down, you have robotics and advanced automation. Basically, we teach you how to build robots. And also, biomedical electronics. You look at all these pacemaker, all those ECG, EGG, all those kind of equipment in the hospital. All of them is actually called under biomedical electronics, IC design. One of the most famous company now, you know, is NVIDIA. Everybody knows is doing the AI chips. So it's an IC design company. And then we move down with communication as well as the networks. Without communication, how are you going to connect yourself with internet to the USA, Europe, and all these countries? All by the communications, as well as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. And we also have computer and intelligence systems. We teach you how to write software, how to learn about hardware or computer, and how to connect them, how to run them. We also have a data analysis as well as machine learning. Now, whole world, everywhere is talking about machine learning. Machine learning in the car, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, everywhere machine learning. And lastly, we talk about micro and nano electronics, where the famous company now is TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Microelectronics. So this means that we are teaching the student how to fabricate IC as well as doing IC design. All these things, what we can do is that our emphasis in school of EEE, we always remember the learning methodology is that when you see, you know. When you read, you remember. But when you do, then you understand. So we want our students to do what? Start from the third year, we have the student projects called Design Innovation Projects. It is a team project where a group of 8 to 10 students, they work together to build something. And they come to final year, we want the student to do individual projects. So they will build. Whereas it is, for me, I teach my students to do the IoT, the so-called devices, to monitor the environment, monitor this temperature, humidity, and all this. So this means that we want the student to work together to learn. At the same time also, we send our students to industry. We call internship, professional internship to different companies, which is a period of 6 months. And we also encourage our students to go overseas to do exchange. It can be a one semester exchange or summer exchange. So this is what we can so-called let the student to grow and to learn. Okay, now we look at this vibrancy of the student life. In here, we have 9 student clubs. And you can look at it, there are EEE clubs, EEE Lead, EEE Garage. And Garage is the one that actually allow you to go inside there to build your own prototypes and even to start your own company. In fact, one of the company actually also in here. Later, you can take a look of it. And then we also have MLDA, stand for Machine Learning and Data Analytics Club. And also we have a different club. And the green color one is called NTU Clean Energy Club. You know, Clean Energy Club is doing the, just now I mentioned to you, to learn how to generate power. We are talking about new energy like solar energy, how to transmit them, as well as how to store them. And also have a EEE outreach where you can see all the students here. Actually, a lot of them are from my outreach club. They are very enthusiastic. And then we also bring them to overseas to Silicon Valley. In fact, one of the year I brought them to visit Tesla, Apple, Google, Facebook, and many companies. So one thing is about EEE, we have a EEE spirit of volunteerism. Means that we want to train engineers with good heart. So we lead a group of students to go to Vietnam to build a community library, and then also to teach the students STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, as well as English. So this means that we are trying to give back to the society, train our students, to be more volunteer. And then below is actually to Laos, we help them to build we call it electrical fence as well as lighting system. And then also we do a food donation drive, festival, cheers, as well as a walk with the senior at River Wonders. So our students bring the seniors and then again bring them to go to the places like River Wonder, this is a zoo, as well as a bird paradise. Okay, here I would like you to take a look of the student products, where student, so-called, it will show you this is our campus. So our campus is very beautiful. It's actually one of the most beautiful campuses in the world. So you can see that we have hive, wave, the arc. The arc, they always call it the butterfly. The wave, the hive, they call it dim sum building. And then we have inland garden. We have a large greenery. And last but not least is a residential halls. In NTU, we have 24 hall of residence, and we have 12,000 of students stay in the halls. And then we guarantee you the first 2 years to have a space or to have a place to stay in the NTU. And then we're also going to have a 3 MRT station in NTU. By the time you come in, you probably will enjoy the NTU MRT ride. So this is one of the 50 world most beautiful campuses. So you can see what I mentioned about 1 degree award opportunity. You have a wide range of jobs you can apply to. And then here, the green color one is actually the NVIDIA, and then also a TSMC, and also many other jobs that you can work in. So there's no worry about which place you want to work to. Okay, here, I want to show you the campus, but to show you the campus, our student have created a drone drive to show you around. Let us take a look. Okay, last but not least, I want to share with you that this our emphasis of teaching the student is to allow them to learn, to play, and to connect. to learn is that we emphasize that the so-called the curiosity, the growth, and also embracing the learning of new knowledge every day. And to play means that we want the student to explore and then to so-called continue to have a learning process with enthusiasm, and to connect is to allow them to also connect with their peers, with their mentors, so-called to build their relationship as well as networking. So this is the last slide, and then I encourage you to actually to talk to the so-called our student ambassador and to also the faculty member here to understand a bit more about our program as well as the detail. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Gui, for that wonderful presentation. Now, before we dive further into today's program, we would like to shine just a quick spotlight on a unique NTU EEE success story that began right in our campus. Now, in our very own student makerspace known as the Garage, Prof. Gui had mentioned it earlier, they created such a startup. So let us meet Learner Lighthouse, a startup founded by NTU's EEE students who turned their curiosity, creativity, and coding skills into a real-world venture. They are here with us today not just to share their inspiring entrepreneurship journey, but also to help NTU EEE students better understand you, our prospective students. So if they approach you for a quick chat or survey, we all hope that you'll say hi and lend a hand. So big thanks to Learner Lighthouse team for being part of this special day. Now, we move on to the next part of our event. We will do the student sharing session. Let us welcome our students to share. So first up, we have Harshini. She is a first-year student in EEE, and she's an active committee member in the MLDA at EEE, which is a platform that empowers EEE or IEM students to pursue the application of machine learning, data analytics, and artificial intelligence in their various established EEE disciplines. She's also a member of the EEE Lead Program and the EEE Global Award recipient. So Harshini, please.
Thank you. A very good afternoon, everyone. This is a very special moment for me because exactly a year ago, I was just like you, seated in this very room with my parents. There were feelings of lots of excitement, slight nervousness, and anticipation as I awaited the start of my university life. Today, I stand before you, feeling extremely grateful and honored to share my NTU EEE journey. I would also like to take this time to thank the school for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak. NTU EEE has been an incredible chapter in my life, and I sincerely hope that my sharing today will give you an insight and inspiration as you go on to chart your own path ahead. Now, let me begin with a short introduction about myself. My name is Harshini, and I'm currently a Year 1 student in the School of EEE. I'm currently pursuing a degree in Electrical and Electronic Engineering with a second major in Data Analytics. I graduated from National Junior College just 2 years ago. My academic interests revolve around the fields of AI, machine learning, and data analytics, technologies that are transforming today's world. NTU EEE has given me the paramount of skills and opportunities to dive deeper into these fields. I'll explain how and why later. Outside of studies, I enjoy exploring new cuisines and traveling to unfamiliar places. This same curiosity drives me to explore new ideas, cultures, and technologies in my learning journey too. One of the best things about NTU EEE is the diversity of clubs that supports your passion, be it social, technical, or service-oriented. For example, we have the Garage at EEE, which is a makerspace where you can turn your engineering ideas to life. You have the access to tools, community, and mentorship, all there to help you prototype and innovate. I'm also part of the Machine Learning and Data Analytics Club, also known as the MLDA. It is a great space where we tackle real-world projects like learning the skills to build a chatbot and participate in competitions or hackathons. We host workshops, hands-on sessions, and even competitions or hackathons. And of course, I'm an active member in EEE Lead, a program that aims to develop the leadership skills of students. Through EEE Lead, I had the opportunity to co-host a group of students from Thailand's Khon Kaen University. And in June, I will also be co-leading a service learning trip to Laos. In fact, this is the third straight year that the EEE delegation team will be heading back to Laos to help fix fans and lights in some of the region's poorest communities. Well, and another strength of NTU is its strong global exposure. There are multiple opportunities for you in terms of semester exchanges, overseas internships, summer schools, and community projects where you can take part in. Personally, I'm extremely thrilled to be heading over to University College London this July to pursue their summer school on the course of Data Science and Analytics. I will be studying alongside students from across the globe, and I know that this would be an extremely valuable experience, not just academically, but personally and professionally too. EEE likewise opens multiple doors for students who wish to travel, study abroad, and build global networks. Well, I know that starting university life can be very exciting and slightly overwhelming and daunting too. But don't worry, NTU EEE makes sure that you are not alone in this. During my first year as a freshman, I was paired with a buddy. She taught me multiple things like course selection, how to manage your time well, and even shared some of her favorite food recommendations, which I will also be sharing later. EEE also has a dedicated and friendly staff in the academic program office and the students' office. They are very approachable and always willing to help. Beyond that, NTU's Career and Attachment Office provides resume reviews, interview coaching, and even links you up with alumni for mentoring. They also host career fairs where top employers visit the campus. Within EEE, our alumni mentorship program will also be launched this September. All these support systems work together to help us grow, not just academically, but professionally and personally as well. Beyond EEE, NTU has a vibrant student life across the whole university. Your journey as a freshman kicks off with two signature orientation programs, known as the Initio and Affinity. These are amazing platforms to meet your fellow EEE peers, form deep-rooted friendships, and have lots of fun before the semester begins. Then there are also other exciting events like NTU fairs, cultural nights, hall events, and even tech competitions. Whether you are an introvert or extrovert, always know that there is something lined up for you. Through these events, know that you will not just build friendships, but memories that will stay with you long after graduation. Moreover, there are also 4 vibrant club orientation programs that you can look forward to joining. They are the Welfare Services Club, Cultural Activities Club, the Sports Club, and the Students' Union. Each offers a unique experience and a chance to explore your interests beyond academics. Last year, I had a chance to take part in the Welfare Services Club orientation, and I must say that it was truly a one to remember. One of the most rewarding parts about joining this Welfare Services Club orientation was the opportunity to meet passionate seniors from across NTU, beyond just your school and faculty. Through orientation and frequent interactions with them, I built everlasting friendships, expanded my network, and connected with like-minded individuals who came together for a common purpose, that is, to give back to the community and grow together through meaningful experiences. Now, let's talk about something that every NTU student deeply cares about. Well, you might think it's academics or studies. Well, it's not. It's food. NTU is a paradise for food lovers. Whether you are craving halal-certified Malay dishes, Japanese dons, Western jewels, or even our very own local hawker food, you will find it across the campus. Well, if you were to ask me what are some of my favorites, I would say the mala. It's very spicy, but worth the heat. And the Japanese rice balls, they are my go-to after a long day. Now, at this point, let me share with you a fun fact. One of the biggest daily dilemmas that my friends and I face every day after school is not what to study, but rather what to eat. And I think these pictures on the screen will speak for it. So, let me end off here. What is student life at NTU EEE all about? It's about finding your space in a diverse and dynamic community. It's about growing, not just as an engineer or data analyst, but as a person. It's about embracing the opportunities, facing challenges, building lifelong relationships, and creating memories that will last a lifetime. To the future students in the audience, whether you have already chosen NTU EEE or are still deciding, I hope my sharing has given you a clearer picture of what's possible. And to the parents, thank you for supporting your children on this exciting journey. I can assure you that they will be in very good hands. And to the professors and alumni, thank you for building a foundation that continues to inspire and uplift students like me. And with that, once again, thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you in NTU. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshini, for that wonderful and insightful presentation. As a freshman, she has already accomplished a lot, and that is what you as prospective students can look forward to here in EEE. So now let us invite our next speaker, Fatima Nasuhah. She will share with us her journey as a student in NTU's IEM. So Nasuhah just completed her 3rd year and has been an active member of the EEE Outreach Club. She is also the member of a EEE club and took part in NTU's Summer Exchange Program. So without further ado, let me invite Nasuhah on stage. Nasuhah, please.
Okay, a very good afternoon to all of you here today. Thank you so much for coming here, and I am here to share with you how the past 2 years of my life in NTU, my journey in NTU has been like. So before I proceed, allow me to introduce myself first. I am Nasuhah. I am currently a student, a year 3 student in IEM, Information Engineering and Media under NTU School of EEE. And I was previously from Singapore Polytechnic, so I directed to year 2, and now is technically my 2nd year in NTU completing. So I'll be going to year 4 in the upcoming academic year. Okay. So, a lot of people will ask me, why IEM, right? I'm sure a lot of you here in the audience also have a question like, why should I choose IEM? So I'll tell you that IEM is actually a very unique course because it blends engineering, coding, and media, art, and design, and all of these together under one discipline. So you don't usually hear like having such courses around the world, right? So I have even seniors from Romania, China, Indonesia, all come to NTU just for the IEM course. So, a lot of people will ask, right, when I tell them that there is an art and media component in information engineering and media, like, they will say, oh my God, I'm not good at arts. Am I going to be able to cope well taking information engineering and media? So I'll say that, actually, based on my understanding, right, a lot of you guys will have prior experience in art because in government schools, you have to take like art modules in primary school and even your lower secondary, compulsory, right? But I would say that I was from a private school previously and I have like zero background in art. So I do not even take any art modules in my primary school, in my secondary school. So if anything, I should have been more concerned than you guys when it comes to like drawing and stuff. So as you can see on the slide here, right, on the right-hand side, that was my drawing initially at the start of this module that I had to take, where you need to like do drawings, real-life drawing, and I was horrible at it. As you can see, I couldn't even draw like proper stick man. But a good thing is that the module, when you come into IEM itself, right, it's not about how good you are at drawing, but it's about how you progress, how you are able to apply what you learn. So at the end of 13 weeks, this was my progress in that module itself, and I am very proud of my achievement because I would have not thought that I would be able to, draw whatever you see on the right-hand side there. And when you look at the transition, it's actually quite drastic. So I think don't worry too much, because at the end of the day, IEM is actually an engineering course, and the purpose of you being introduced to all these art and design modules is for you to understand how to aesthetically show and basically make software aesthetically pleasing for people, for audience, when you are doing your work and projects. So, as daunting as the art and design components were for me, right, for someone with no background in anything related to this, I would say that it has actually been one of the most fun and exciting journey in NTU, because when you are doing like EEE modules, it's quite technical. It can get sometimes a bit like tough, So when you get the opportunity to like take these art and design modules, it's like a good break, You don't have to like think about math, physics for too much. You get like a good break, and it's actually part of your core module. So you get to experience different things, and you take modules from School of Art, Design and Media, and you also get to meet other students from different like disciplines through these modules and opportunities. And earlier, Prof. Gui mentioned to you guys about this module called Design and Innovation Project, which is actually a compulsory module for all Year 3 students to take. So the purpose of this module is actually to prepare you guys for FYP. But when you are doing this module, you work in a group. And in this group, it consists of students from EEE or IEM, and they are all students who have different things to offer, right? So when you're working in a group, it's not going to be easy, of course. So you have people who have different opinions, different things that they want to do, right? So when you are working in this group, I was able to actually realize how everything I have learned in my first year of study, in my second year of study, right? How everything comes together. So in IEM, you have to take very theoretical modules sometimes. There's one module where you have to take, it's called software engineering. You learn a lot about the processes, the frameworks, when you want to build a software project. So naturally, you will question, right, wow, this is such a theoretical module. What is the use of it? And when I took this module, I realized what's the use of learning a lot of frameworks and processes, because when you are working on a project and you have a timeline and all these things, right? So when you learn the theory, you need a place to practice it. And the school makes sure that they don't just give you like theoretical information and stuff, but they also ensure that the students have a place or an avenue to like practice what they have been taught in classes. So that was one of my insights from DIP project. So my project for DIP was actually to build an indoor navigation application for students to navigate around the campus in NTU. So this was not something that was easy, because we were trying to use AR. And I was actually, through this experience, right, what I realized was that students, although we are all starting from the same place, it depends on how much effort you put in throughout your 2 years of journey in NTU. I realized that I have a lot to learn from my peers. Although we are all taking the same modules, we advance differently. We have different backgrounds that we come from. So this was one of the places where I was able to meet my peers, who became very good friends of mine, and I was able to learn a lot from them in terms of coding, even, or like they will give me a lot of resources that I could use to advance or improve some certain skills that I may need. And moving on, another very big experience that a lot of people will look forward to is, of course, overseas exchange, right? So there's different kinds of like exchange experience you can go to when you are in NTU. There is one which is the semester, or you can choose to go overseas during your breaks, which is the winter break or the summer break. So I went for overseas exchange last July for my summer break, and I went to Africa. So you don't really hear a lot of people say, oh, I went to Africa for my exchange, right? But there is an opportunity in NTU for you to go to Africa, and I went to Morocco specifically. It is actually the University ESSEC Business, and the campus is in Africa. If you guys are familiar, they have a campus in Singapore as well. So what I was mainly doing there is I was spending a few weeks overseas. So it's about 3 weeks of a program where you get to clear some of your elective modules overseas. I was taking a lot of business modules because it's a business school. And it actually teaches you how to do business in Africa and so on. And I think the biggest takeaway was in my class, there was people from over 20 countries. So today I proudly can tell you that I have people I know from 20 countries, and we have a group chat which is quite active. And if they are coming to Singapore, they would text us. I have a friend who's coming from Italy next month, and she was texting me saying oh, are you free to bring me around? So it's the networking that you gain from this experience, right? You don't usually have an opportunity to say that, oh, I have people I know from all around the world. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from me, because I would not have expected to know anyone from Italy, from London, from US. But after this experience, it really broadened my horizons, and I have a wide range of network after this experience. And of course, CCAs are a huge part of your university life, of your student life. And there are different types of CCAs that you guys can go for. So we have school-wide CCAs where you get to meet people from different faculties, different schools. But there's also CCAs that you can take, which is within the, we call these academic clubs. So this is where you get to meet a lot of EEE students, IEM students. And there's also hall CCAs if you guys are planning to stay in the hall accommodations provided in NTU. So there's a list of CCAs I've tried over the past 2 years, but I will share with you guys the most active ones. So firstly would be EEE Outreach. So EEE Outreach is an academic club where we focus on outreaching about EEE to students, pre-university students like you guys. So what we do mainly is we plan visits when, for example, polytechnics want to come and visit us, or JCs, or even international schools. When they come over to NTU, we will be coordinating these visits. We do ambassador duties. If you guys were there for open house, you'd have seen some of my friends on the table around you as the ambassadors who were talking to you at the booth or bringing you around the school. And we also plan for events. So 2 of our flagship events would be Induction Fiesta and Innovation Challenge, which is done at the end of our semesters. So actually we have one of our events upcoming next Saturday. It is Induction Fiesta, and hope you guys sign up for it, and hope to see you guys there as well. You get to interact with our students, understand more about what the courses are, and it's more intimate session where you get to basically meet your batchmates and so on. The next club would be EEE Club. It is actually a club where you get to network with a lot of EEE students, and it's also one of the places where I got to meet seniors. So the culture in NTU is very wholesome, I would say, because when you meet these seniors, they have already taken the modules that you will be taking in the future, right? So there is the culture where they will give you advice, say how you can tackle some of the challenges that you may face when you are taking some modules, or they will even pass down notes or resources that might be very helpful for you when you are taking that course yourself. So I would strongly encourage all of you to join these academic clubs, not only for you to gain experiences, but also for the network that you will gain when you join these clubs. And one example of the school-wide network, I was part of the Malay Language and Cultural Society, and through this CCA, right, I was able to meet a lot of people from different schools. So I have friends in mechanical engineering, in material science, in National Institute of Education. So when you are in NTU itself, maybe you don't have the opportunity to meet these people, right? But when you join CCAs, which brings you together, this is the opportunity for you to meet people, network, and basically get to know more people who will sort of make your uni life more fun. Yeah. So I would say that, engineering is not going to be an easy journey. Of course, it is going to be tough, tiring sometimes. You will be wondering, wow, how to make this easy. But of course, the only thing that I would say I'm very proud or very thankful for is that I have this EEE community which makes the tough journey a bit easier, you know. It is nice to have a group or a supportive community that is there, that is going through the same thing, and you are there to help each other out. So I know that this has been a big, or in fact, one of the most important part of my journey in NTU thus far, and I hope to see you guys grow the EEE family with me together. Yeah, thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Nasuhah, for that very insightful sharing session. You know, reading IEM as a degree is not an easy task to do, but as you can see, our students here have done it very well, and they have showcased their holistic abilities as well. So I think our speakers have done enough of talking for now. So we would like to focus our attention on you guys, our prospective students and guests. So I'm sure we have cleared some doubts that you may have had before joining this evening, but I'm sure you all still have some lingering ones here and there. So maybe you might want to know, maybe have some clarification about what was shared today. So we have assembled a masterclass of professors and students, past and present. So if there was ever a time you need answers to your burning questions, this will be the perfect time. So we'll be flashing a QR code on the screen, and with this, I will be facilitating a Q&A panel thanks to our wonderful panelists. So the panelists are our Associate Chair for Academics, Professor Tay Wee Peng, our Associate Chair for Students, Associate Professor Ng Beng Kun, our Assistant Chair for Outreach, Associate Professor Gui Bawi, one of our alumni, Mr. Chan Tak Ging, one of our Year 4 IEM students, Fu Jun, and lastly, our Year 2 student who is reading EEE with a second major in Data Analytics, Jin Yi. So can I please invite all our panelists on stage to address the questions?
Share one again. Yes, we'll share this one. Sure. No.
So thank you everybody for your patience and waiting for the panelists to assemble. Now, before we actually start on the Q&A, I'd just like to invite our alumni sitting over here, because you have heard from our students and our professors, but I'd just like him to just say a few words about life post EEE.
Thank you, Ronit. Hi everyone. It's good to be back here again with NTU EEE. So I guess I'll just share about my career journey ever since graduating from EEE in 2017. So my first job was working at a precision engineering company, doing milling machines that drilled out these very precise metal parts. So my job was to look at these sensors, digital signal processing. We get to look at the waveforms coming out from the vibration, and then we figure out when is the best time to replace these machines. So this is what we call predictive maintenance. And that was a pretty fun job, working with C++ and working with Microsoft Windows APIs. So that's a very, very technical job. And it was quite fun. And then I moved on to my next job, which is with Keysight. So this is an oscilloscope electronics test and measurement company. And my job was to look at these fixtures, which is a thing that the testing machine can use to probe a lot of different test points on a circuit board with hundreds and even thousands of components. So we look at all of these pins, we look at the signals that are coming out of them, and then we try to figure out which pin is time to change and all that. But this time I was playing more of a data scientist, data engineering role, which then led to my third and current job, which is as a lead data engineer at a consultancy company. So now my clients come from all sorts of industries, from telecommunications, finance and banking, and life sciences, etc. So very glad to be here today, and if you have any questions for myself or any of my colleagues, please feel free to share.
Thank you, Ging, for that wonderful insight on your career post your EEE experience. So I actually have the first question on board. So the question is that I'm offered EEE with a second major in data analytics. Can I understand how hard is it to cope with the second major? Now, I understand one of our panelists is actually pursuing a degree in EEE with a second major in data analytics, Jin Yi, right? Yes. So I think she'll be able to address that question for you.
Okay, I'll just start off by saying my background first. Okay, so I come from junior college, and I feel that by taking on the second major in data analytics, I wouldn't say that the workload is insane. I feel that it's still quite manageable, but it just comes down to your time management. Because data analytics, in a sense, your module is a bit harder, and compared to the EEE hardware modules, it's a bit more software-based, and you're not really taking it in EEE. So I would say that it's a bit out of your comfort zone, but I feel that as long as you do your tutorials on time, you study and you keep track of your progress, it will be okay. And I think second major in data analytics, it really just comes down to your time management. But in general, everything in uni, it also comes down to your time management. So overall, if your time management is okay, it should be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you with that, Jin Yi. I'm also doing a second major, but not in data analytics, in business. So second majors are an extra discipline that we read, but it's very insightful. So it's really all about time management, as you said. Now, the next question is, what sets EEE apart from other courses? Would any one of our panelists like to answer that question?
Okay, I'm not too sure what other courses are you referring to. Okay, because in NTU is actually a technological university. If you look at all the different countries, so we always have like USA have a MIT, Harvard. So now we separate ourselves with different, we are focusing on engineering. And then in EEE, we find that it go with your heart. In a sense that when I was young at that time, I like to play with electronic gadget, remote control, those blinking lights, those wheel of fortune, all this. So it has a lot to do with the computing as well as hardware. So naturally, I will say that I would like to go to EEE. And then with that, you can see that anything like the signal, like what just now our alumni has mentioned, anything that is component, anything that is electricity, power, anything is actually I'm interested. So naturally, I would say that I would like to go to EEE. And then if you are interested on other things, like for example, you are interested on chemistry or interested in building, mechanical, moving part, then naturally you have to go to the other field. So that is my advice.
Yeah, maybe to add on, I think EEE itself is a very diverse area, right? So as you saw just now in the presentation, we actually have 8 specializations for you to choose from. And if you look at the 8 specializations, they are actually covering very diverse areas. So one of the advantages of doing EEE is that in the first 2 years, you take the foundation courses, which will actually give you a good understanding of all these different areas, right? Going from all the way from more software areas, signal processing, to hardware, electronics, and so on. Right? But then after that, it really depends on your interest. And I think that is really the advantage of doing EEE, right? It allows you to choose what is the specialization, what is the area that eventually you want to build your career in. Okay, so, and you don't have to decide at the beginning, right? You can do this after the first 2 years, then starting the 3rd year, then you can start to, based on what you're really interested in, to specialize in one particular area. And I think this is really what, makes us quite different from other, say, engineering disciplines, where when you go in, it's already, you have to already decide that, this is the niche area that you are going for. So yeah, so I think EEE actually has a lot of freedom for you to choose based on what you are really interested in.
Thank you, Profs, for that wonderful question. Now, there's another question that we have, and how does NTU, or maybe I'll rephrase it, does NTU prepare their students for career opportunities, and do they have like recruitment drive? So, Prof Ng, can I get you?
All right. So at the university level, we have a career attachment office that would organize recruitment fairs where companies come and they offer opportunities to students. And in fact, there is also career coaches that we have at schools. So students can actually reach out to these career coaches to find out more about specific industries and what are the necessary preparation they need to make to get into a particular industry. In fact, currently we're actually encouraging students to start thinking about this question right from the beginning when you join the university and get yourself prepared, for the kind of job that you want to get into. Of course, on top of that, the school itself, we also regularly organize career workshops to get you prepared. Things like resume writing, personal grooming, how do you handle interviews. Okay, so all this is actually provided at the school levels. Okay.
Thank you, Prof. Ng. Now, the next question we have is, given the very high intake here in EEE, are there sufficient opportunities both in school and career to be sustainable? Now, that's a very interesting question. I think some of our professors can answer that. So, Prof. Gui, would you like to take that question, please?
Thank you, Rohit. Actually, being big is an advantage. I always feel that. When you have a lot of resources, a lot of students, first of all, you will have a lot of courses to offer. So you can a lot of so-called the different courses and also tutorial groups. So you can choose your timetable, plan according to your preference. So this is one advantage. Second advantage is that being a big school, a lot of resources, I could say that more competition, yes, but again, you have a more like student clubs, student body, and then more laboratories. We have 60 laboratories, and then some of them, like just I mentioned to you, the satellite research center, garage, and then the clean rooms. I think being a small school, I don't think you can afford to have all these type of laboratory as well as corporate labs. So we have a lot of resources, a lot of professors, 120 those research-intensive professors with a lot of research staff. They can help you to learn and then to go into a new area. And then also we have many officers that just now our student has sharing with you. Academic program office, student office, career and attachment office. All these can help you to grow. So being big, actually a lot of competition, but at the same time also you have a lot of, we call a lot of advantages. That is my point.
Thank you, Prof. Gui. Now, we have another question. This time is directed towards the IEM side of things. I think Fu Jun, maybe you can address this. So the question is, how does IEM have a competitive edge over the other more specific degrees like in arts and programming?
That's a very good question. I think IEM itself is an engineering degree, but of course, it's more versatile in the fact that you learn a bit of electronics and hardware, especially in your first 2 years. And of course, as shared previously, you do a bit of art and design. So I think by doing an IEM degree, you get a more holistic view in software design, in product design, and which many of our graduates go out to do, to specialize in product management, product design, front-end software engineer, as well as even branding and marketing roles at media companies like ByteDance. So I would say to each our own, but IEM degree has been fulfilling and has been impactful in my future career, I would say this.
Thank you, Fu Jun, for that wonderful insight. Now, the next question we have is slightly about further studies. So, the question is, what are further studies, example masters, that I can pursue to build onto the foundation of EEE? Now, maybe Prof. Tay, maybe you could answer that question first. Thank you.
Yeah, so EEE, after you do your undergraduate degree, actually gives you a very good foundation for your career and for your future pursuit of further studies. Right? So we actually have a lot of students go on to, for example, doing masters or even PhD programs. Just an example, our school itself, right, we actually have 7 Masters of Science programs, ranging from, say, power engineering, communication engineering, signal and machine learning, what else? Computer control and automation. Okay? And we also have 2 joint programs with TUM, right, basically in IC design and green electronics. So you can see that the different specializations you can go into, right, it basically corresponds to the 8 specializations that you may choose in the later part of your undergraduate degree, right? When there's actually a lot of opportunities for you to go into very specific areas, right? Under these 7 Masters of Science programs, or if you are interested, right, you can actually do a PhD, right, which is even more specialized depending on your supervisors, the supervisor that you choose, right? What is the project that you're going to work on, right, in your PhD program? So certainly, our slogan, right, in EEE is a world of opportunities. Once you have this EEE undergraduate degree, you actually have a lot of choices, opens up a lot of doors in the future. Right? So if you look at the Fortune 500 companies, top 500 companies in the world, you can find that the majority proportion of the CEOs of these Fortune 500 companies have a basic degree in electrical engineering, right? And this is a fact. Okay, so it's because electrical engineering actually gives you a very diverse foundation, a very good degree in terms of engineering and problem-solving skills, and this is the one that will basically help you to have to be able to do a lot of different things in the future.
Thank you, Prof. Tay, for that insight. So I hope whoever asked that question now has a better understanding on the further studies that EEE can offer you as well. So the next question we have is, with the rise of AI and the global technological landscape evolving, is NTU equipped to maybe ensure that their students are better prepared to take on this challenge? Now, I think, Mr. Chan, you have some experience in the data world especially, right? So maybe you could be better equipped to answer that question?
Sure. Thank you. So yes, with AI, there's a lot of interesting talk about AIs doing a lot of the work in terms of programming as well. So there's a lot of GitHub Copilot. I'm using it myself. But the thing is, this Copilot can help you do those very bread and butter tasks. Like if you want to know what is the syntax for doing this, it can help you with that. If you wanted to set up some default configurations, it can help you with that. And it makes my job 2 times, 3 times faster. But a lot of the work that you do is not actually these bread and butter grunt work tasks, right? You have to focus more on architectural design. How do you best design your backend server to cater to the load? How do you scale up your servers dynamically without dropping users in the middle of a request? So you really have to think about the valuable work that you can contribute and value add to your software. So that's the part that you should focus on your fundamentals. Think about higher level software architecture design, and you'll be fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chan, for that. And the next question we have is, what does the second major in business entail, and how is it different from a business degree? So I think I will answer that question because I myself am reading a second major in business. So a second major in business really gives you a basic overview of what business is all about. They do not go so deep like the Bachelor of Business Administration because you simply just do not have enough time for that. So the second major will give you modules, basic modules like financial management, marketing, financial accounting, and at the end of your first year, you would choose whether you want to be streamed into the international trading cohort or into the mainstream cohort. So for myself, I have chosen to go into the international trading cohort, which I'll be learning about the trade all around the world with different commodities and different items such as gemstones and oil and gas. So it's very interesting and it's very intriguing to learn more about this because you learn about how the world rotates and like how the world functions and how cash transfers from one hand to another. So that is what we offer at NTU as well, not just a single specific interest in a degree. There's also, we are very multidisciplinary and we have options for a lot, to read a lot of different industries as well. So that's what I have for that question. So now I'll go on to the next question. The next question is, I think some of them just wants a bit more clarification on the entrepreneurship programs mentioned. So like, are there any requirements, or what are the entrepreneurship programs about? Any of our panelists, whoever has an idea, may be able to answer that question. Prof. Teh, I know I have given you the mic too many times today. Can you answer that question?
Okay, entrepreneurship, there is a minor in entrepreneurship. So there are certain courses that is conducted by this NTU Entrepreneurship Center. Right, so they offers some courses. If you complete those courses, you will get the minor. And my understanding is that those courses are usually conducted during some of them are conducted during the winter break. So it's a compressed format that you actually take outside of your regular curriculum time. So if you are interested in entrepreneurship, that is a possible option to consider. In EEE itself, we actually also offer one course on entrepreneurship called Passion to Action, right? How to go from ideas to a startup. So that is also is a more introductory course in entrepreneurship, right? Basically giving our students some background about how to go about setting up a startup, right? Based on the ideas that they have, yeah. But if you are interested to go further, certainly these are minor is something that you may consider.
Thank you, Prof. Teh, for that insight once again. Now, the next question we have is, how is the international trading program in the second major in business different from the mainstream one? So again, I'll take that question. So the international trading cohort really dwells into the fact that you'll be trading with partners all around the world. You will learn the specific trading laws and the trade agreements also that have been put in place by other countries. And you'll also learn the step-by-step procedure of what happens in a normal trade that happens between companies or partners that are in different countries as well. So it does not just localize your mind to a certain country or a certain area. It teaches you all around about what's happening all around the world. And it also teaches you about different commodities, and it's not just a single industry specific. So that is how it's different from the mainstream one, because the mainstream one will go into the very finance side of things. There'll be a lot of financial accounting, management accounting, and these are things also that could interest a lot of you, as well as the international trading cohort. So the next question I will have is, okay, the next question is, how demanding is the computational thinking and programming program for a JC graduate? So I think this question may have been asked by one of our fellow JC graduates that they are here tonight. So yeah, just how demanding would it be for JC graduates to go through the computational thinking and programming program? Fu Jun, I think maybe you may be able to answer that. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm from JC, as well as some of you are. And I would say that I have minimal exposure to programming in general before reading this course in IEM. And computational thinking to programming is one of the introductory courses to programming. And I believe it's taught in C 4 years ago when I was year 1. And I would say it's very basic, very introductory, and there are hands-on tutorial sessions for you to complete small assignments or small exercises to test your logic, and you get to talk to the TAs or your professors who are teaching the module. So I think this helps to build general understanding or to identify the flaws in your thinking when programming, and I feel that it's very essential if you want to go down the path of software or you want to go to big tech in general. Yep.
Thank you, Fu Jun. Now, the next question we have is, how can I approach a professor that is willing to bring me on their research project? So as just a bit of a background, EEE, we have a lot of research projects that you can get yourselves involved to. So I think the question is mainly asking, how can they approach the professor to join these research projects or even start their own? So I think Prof. Ng, you can be able to take this.
So in terms of research, there are two avenues that you can get yourself involved. There are actually the credit-bearing modules, one of which is the Eureka, where you can work on some projects, particularly research ones that professors are working on. So that's the university level courses that you could take. Then at the school level, there's also a UROP, Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program, that's open to general students, so you can also opt for those and look at the projects that's available. If some of this research project appeal to you, you can actually choose to do that as well. Of course, outside the credit-bearing courses, you can actually approach profs whose project you may be interested in to find out whether there's any research opportunities. If the professor actually have the capacity, they may be more than willing to take you to work on those projects. Not as part of the credit bearing, but opportunity for you to pick up some skills and learn what's going on in those areas. Okay.
Thank you, Prof. Ng. Now, the next question is, how does a normal day look like for a EEE student? I think that's a question on many of your minds. It's a very fair question. You definitely want to know what a normal day is like before you accept us as your undergraduate program. So I think maybe Jin Yi, you'll be able to address this.
Okay, so for NTU, you can actually plan your timetable and you can see what classes you want to take for each day. Usually classes start around 8:30 to 9:30. Then it depends on how you pack your schedule. But usually my day for classes, it ends around 2+, 3+. Yeah, and then after that, because I joined multiple faculty clubs, I'm actually quite involved in some of them. So usually after, once my classes end, I will go for my faculty club meetings. And usually those start around 5 to 6 and will end around 7 to 8. So during those pockets of time, before and after the meeting, that's when I study, that's when I rest to recharge for the next day. And I think because of how much freedom you get to plan your curriculum, since my year 1, usually my school week is only 3 days. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And because I stay in hall, I go back on Monday and Friday. But I think because you get so much freedom, you can determine what time you want your day to start and what time you want your day to end. And you can plan which clubs to join around your schedule. Yeah.
Thank you. That's actually very interesting because here at NTU, especially at EEE, we believe in autonomy and we believe that you should be in control of your own education and you should be able to choose what you want to learn. So that's actually a very good insight that you gave, Jin Yi. And the next question that we have is, given the tough job market, nowadays, of course, we all know that the job market is pretty tough. So what is NTU doing to ensure its graduates stand out from the competition? Now, I think, Mr. Chan, you'll be able to take this since you are a graduate of NTU.
Yes, I graduated from a very different time. So I'm not too up to date on what NTU is doing these days. You can check with the Career and Attachment Office. I'm sure they're doing a lot for you guys. Even today, sometimes I get emails from them asking companies, right, are there any positions, are there any openings? And then maybe I will reach out back to them and see what we can work out with. But as for myself, personally, the EEE curriculum is very, very rigorous. It focuses a lot on your problem-solving skills. It doesn't really teach you to memorize model answers and rote learning, right? So you have to really focus on the concepts and the theories behind why we want to do things a certain way. And this kind of mindset really helps you in your career as you go on later on. So, yep, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Chan, for the insight. Oh yes, Prof. Tay, please.
Yeah. So I think NTU takes your career success very seriously. So in fact, now when you join NTU, you actually have to take in your first year a course on how to prepare for career interviews, how to prepare your resumes, your CVs, and so on. So actually, the university is putting in a lot of effort to provide career coaching to each and every student, through not only courses, but basically individual career workshops, career teaching, and also to prepare you through the internship, right? So all the students actually have to do an internship with a company, usually in your third year, right? One of the semesters in your third year. So that will actually give you a legs up in terms of, understanding and getting yourself embedded in the company, in the industry that you are interested in. Yeah, so certainly I know career now is very competitive, right? And the university, the school is actually coming out with all these coaching and methods, right, to basically help all of you prepare, to have a successful career.
Thank you, Prof. Tay. Actually, he mentioned something that's very important, that we don't just teach you about your specific degree. We even coach you on how to present yourself well, attend interviews, write essays. I think Prof. Ng also has mentioned that earlier. So once again, we're not just into a specific industry or specific discipline. We encourage our students to be holistic, and we don't want them to just be single-minded. We want them to be all-rounded in that sense. So we have two last questions before we end the panel session. So the second last question will be, how can we better prepare for EEE before we enter NTU? I think this is a very good question, especially for those NSFs our local Singaporean and PRs who just ORD'd and they're going to join NTU's EEE program. So you just want to get an idea of how you can better prepare yourself. So as an NSF who ORD'd before I could matriculate into NTU, I think NTU itself offers refresher programs. If I'm not wrong, they offer refresher courses that your prospective students should attend, because it's really very insightful and it refreshes your memory on the past knowledge that you may have learned in your junior colleges, your polytechnics, your high schools, and it really gives you some more insight on the difficulty level and how rigorous the curriculum will be, because as we all know here, no curriculum is ever easy. Every undergraduate degree will be tough. But what NTU EEE program does for you, it better prepares you mentally and emotionally also as well before you matriculate. So you can just go for refresher courses, and you can also, in our orientation programs, you can speak to our seniors who are there, and they will be able to guide you along how to do certain administrative and logistical things in NTU as well. So any of our panelists would like to add on to that? All good? Okay, so we come to our last question. Now, will there be more integration of specialized skills to meet industry needs? So will any one of our panelists would like to take that? Fu Jun, you'd like to take that? Okay, great. Yeah, so Fu Jun will take that question. So the question will be, will there be more integration of specialized skills to meet industry needs? Has there been integration of specialized skills as well to meet industry needs?
I think from a perspective as a student, I believe that NTU really offers a lot apart from academics. So I believe that networking and being able to approach industry leaders, companies, and employees there is a very good skill to have. And I believe that this is one of the most important factors when finding a job. When you are doing your internship, or when you go on company visits as part of NTU EEE student, or when you go on overseas exchange or overseas internships, these experiences help to shape you to become a more confident and more professional employee, I believe. And it will help you be able to be in front of an audience. And this is what employers will look at when conducting an interview and when assessing whether you as a student, as a graduate, are you fit to become one of the employee, or are you able to provide value to them? Yeah.
Thank you, Fu Jun, and thank you to all. Oh, Prof. Gui, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to add a little bit. When we interview our scholars, or actually I started 2 companies, and I also employ some of the so-called employee, and then including engineers. So you can see that we are looking at somebody that are actually have a few characteristics. First characteristic is a passion. The person have a passion to contribute, to be very active, learned person. That is a thing that we are looking at. Secondly, we are looking at communication skills. So I always believe that a good staff or what, it can actually communicate very well within the team. And then also, I'm looking at the characteristic, the person that, in the way that they're willing to work as a team, networking. That means that he, for example, just now, Fu Jun has mentioned that go internship, go exchange, allow you to know more people, allow you to connect, and allow you to actually to meet, for example, in the NTU, we allow you to meet with the mentors, and then to meet with peers. And then this networking is very important for you to train. And then leadership. I believe that a good engineer, where you are good leaders, means that you can go do time management and also plan the schedule, as well as, because properly engineer, you have some staff under you, and then you make sure they have some leadership trait, willing to take the risk, willing to make decisions, to strategize the work. And then finally, I should say that you have a heart. You have a heart to actually, you know that everything is difficult. Everybody is challenging. Sometimes you have a sleepless night, and then sometimes you work overnight and then meet the deadline. So you must make sure that you take care of your colleagues, your peers, as well as your family members. That is the characteristic I'm looking at. And then you should have this characteristic, and it will be very easy for you to look for a job.
Yes, I agree with you there, Prof. Gui. Thank you so much for that information. Now, we have come to the end of our Q&A session. I'd like to just thank all our panelists for taking their time to address all of your questions. So, without further ado, panelists, you may now exit the stage, and please give a round of applause to our panelists. So once again, thank you all for such a productive panel session. For those of you watching online, we will now end the session, and we hope to see all of you guys online here at EEE.